Hallelujah to the Most High. Let's continue with the word of the Most High. Give him all praise and glory. We're going to go to the book of Genesis 15th chapter and verse 1. It says, after these things, the word of the Most High came to Abram in a vision, saying, fear not, Abram, I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward. So, let's jump up, because we're dealing with the covenant, this agreement, this contract that the Most High had with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And we're looking how it came about. So, in Genesis 15 and 18, it says, in the same day, the Most High made a covenant with Abram, saying, unto thy seed. Mind you, words are very important. It says, unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates. Unto his seed. So, on the Genesis 16, now, you understand, Abraham married Sarah. She didn't have any children, so she gave Hagar, her handmaid, this Hamite, to Abraham, the wife, and Hagar bare Ishmael, Abraham's son. And Hagar was like, kind of making fun of Sarah. You can read it in the 16th chapter. And Sarah, our foremother, said, get rid of her. And Ishmael. So, Abraham got rid of Hagar. Most High said, listen to what she's saying. Because the Most High have a plan. Just like he have a plan when he's going to allow Mashiach to come back on this earth and judge and make war and bring righteousness on this earth. It's in the Most High's hand. You see? And remember that. Because saying that, go to another scripture. Go to Acts, the 1st chapter, the 6th verse. Because after Mashiach died, rose on the 3rd day, walked the earth for 40 days, they like, oh, let you know that the kingdom to be set on this earth is going to come to the Israelites. Just what they asked to. Mind you, you've been here 40 days. Oh man, you back. You come to do what you're supposed to do. Judge and make war. But no. He had to send it to the Most High, on the right hand side, and wait on the Father. As he said. He told us that. We just read that in Matthew 24:36, right? So this is what happened. Acts 1 and 6. When they therefore will come together, they asked of him, saying, this is Acts 1 and 6. O Mashiach Yahushua, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? To the Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel. You read 144,000, 12,000 from each of the tribes of Israel in Revelation, the 7th chapter, the 4th verse to the 8th verse. Naming 12,000 of each of the 12 tribes of Israel to make up the 144,000 that's going to rule with a Mashiach Yahushua. This is what he said to them. They asked him, you going to restore the kingdom again to Israel? This is what he said. And he said to them, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons. You hear that? And for all you out there, hear what he said. It is not for you to know the times or the seasons, which the Father has put in his own power. In a story. Just I'll be working in the vineyard to be part of the 1/3 of the 12 tribes of Israel. Point blank. But leave it alone. Don't mess with it. Be with it. You know, stay with it, but leave it alone. gotta be humble. Or you're gonna be dealt with. Look, go to Isaiah 2. Verse 9. Let's read verse 8. It says, their land also is full of idols. Don't they got a show called Some About Idols? Great Idols or something like that? Their land is also full of idols. Movie stars, sports figures, rappers, and singers, and entertainers. Anybody else you exalt and put them above the Most High, because you spend more time in loving them than you do the Most High. And he's looking at you being jealous. That's what I say. And the mean, their land also is full of idols. They worship the work of their own hands, that which their own fingers have made. And the mean man bowed down, and the great man humbled himself. Therefore forgive them not. You know what he said? When they try to humble themselves, say, forgive, therefore forgive them not. Don't forgive them. It says, enter into the rock and hide thee in the dust for fear of the Most High, and for the glory of his majesty. The lofty looks of man, the prideful looks of a man shall be humbled. You're going to be humbled down. And the haughtiness, the pridefulness of man shall be bowed down, and the Most High alone shall be exalted in that day. Hear that? So all your pride that you have is going to be brought down. You're going to be humble before the Most High. And myself goes shot in that day. For the day of the Most High of hosts shall be upon every one that is proud and lofty, lifting up your head, and upon every one that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low. You will be brought down low. So that's word of thought, word of wisdom. Understand this. Don't allow yourself to be caught up in a spirit of such. That's why you hear me all the time say, we got to be humble and have a broken and contrite spirit. That don't take away your manhood. That's what the Most High said you got to do. Mashiach Shai was humble, broken, contrite spirit to death for us, wicked us, wretched us, children of Israel, sinful us, children of Israel. Always broke the Most High's laws, but here we are. Most High said, I'll forgive you. We have to, because we be done away with. But he loved us enough to say, I'm going to make sure I keep you as the apple of my eye. Isn't that beautiful? Amen. Go to Genesis 17 chapter. Verse 1. And when Abram was 90 years old and 99 years old, and the Most High appeared to Abram and said unto him, it wasn't the Most High, but it was through the Most High that the angel of the Most High came to him. Remember, ain't nobody said appeared to Abram, you know. St. John 1 and 18, don't ever forget that scripture. It makes it clear, so you got to figure out, well, who is this? St. John 1:18. If you read it, you say, oh. But in Hebrew it says Elohim. St. John 1:18. No man hath seen the Most High at any time. The only begotten Son of Mashiach Yahushua, which is in the bosom of the Father, he hath declared him. So he's speaking, he is the word of the Most High. So he's speaking the word of the Most High when he hear the Most High's what? Voice. Okay? So here it is. Listen. Genesis 17. A lot of you wonder, what happened to Mashiach Yahushua? You probably don't even care. Just knowing he came in the flesh and he died for your sins. But here he is here. But it is the Most High because he's the word of the Most High. He's the messenger of the Most High. He's the angel of the Most High. Listen. Genesis 17:1. And when Abraham was 90 years old and 99 years old, the Most High, through Mashiach Yahushua, as an angel of the Most High, appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty Power. Walk before me and be thou perfect. And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. Okay? So let's see. It said, I am the Almighty God. So go to Revelations, 1st chapter, and verse 8. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, said Mashiach Yahushua, which is, and which was the Most High ever was? No, Most High always is. He is. Which is, and which was, and which is to come. And we wait on him to come. Who? The Almighty. See? But see, if you don't see that spiritually, then you're missing out on him. And you're not seeing how Mashiach Yahushua said, if you ask anything in my name, I will do that the Father be glorified in the Son. You missed that. Because you're looking at what it is that can happen for you as his word. John 14, 13 to 15. See? And here it is. Almighty power. I am the Almighty power. Walk before me and be thou perfect. That's right, look. Who's he talking to? Abraham, right? Who's John? 8th chapter. Listen what they asked him. John 8:53. Art thou greater than our father Abraham? Same Abraham that we're talking about, we're reading about. He's here in the flesh, which is dead, and the prophets are dead, whom makest thou thyself? Who you think you are? You know how we are. Who you think you are? You greater than Abraham, who's dead? Who you think you are? Verse 58, he told them who he was. Mashiach said unto them, verily, verily, truly, truly, I say unto you, before Abraham was, I am. He said, look what he said in verse 56. Your father Abraham, who you believe in, rejoiced to see my day. And he saw it and was glad. And this said the Jews among themselves, what are you talking about? Thou art not yet 50 years old, and hast thou seen Abraham? You ain't 50 years old. How you talking about you seen Abraham? Mashiach said unto them, verily, verily, truly, truly, I said unto you, before Abraham was, I am. Then what happened? Then took they up stones to cast at him. But Mashiach hid himself and went out of the temple, going through the midst of them, And so passed by, had to get up out of there. He said, before Abraham was, I am. So you got to eat that. So Abraham rejoiced to see his day. Here it is. He's talking to him. Angel of the Most High. Understand this. Genesis 17 and 1. And when Abraham was 90 years old and 99 years old, Mashiach Yahushua, through the power of the Most High, he's the word of the Most High, speaking the words of the Most High's voice. That's why he say, hearken unto me. Appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty Power. Walk before me and be thou perfect. That's the Most High speaking his voice. But Mashiach Yahushua, as an angel of the Most High, giving him the word. He always sent angels. Look, look at Genesis 16 and verse 7. And the angel of the Most High, there it is. There he is right there. Found her by a fountain of water in the wilderness. Once, they done got rid of her and stuff. Trying to get on out of here. She dealt, with Sarah the wrong way. And the angel of the Most High found her by a fountain of water in the wilderness, by the fountain in the way to Shur. And he said, so the angel speaking to her, Hagar, Sarah's maid, whence camest thou? And whither wilt thou go? And she said, I flee from the face of my mistress Sarah. Sarah, get ready. You know how you women are? You Israelite women are, when y'all raise up, y'all get ready to put some damage in. Better ask somebody. I see some videos, boy. Y'all better watch out messing with Eve. Eve is a lioness. They put some work in on some people treating them wrong, boy. Shoot. So she got away from Sarah. Sarah get ready to put some work in. Listen, verse 9. And the angel of the Most High said unto her, return to thy mistress and submit thyself under her hands. And the angel of the Most High said unto her, I will multiply thy seed exceedingly, that it shall not be numbered for multitude. And the angel of the Most High, this angel calling the angel of the Most High over and over again, said unto her, behold, thou art with child, you pregnant, and shall bear a son, and shall call his name Ishmael, because the Most High have heard thy affliction. The Most High heard thy affliction. See, the wife of Abraham, because Sarah gave Abram, whose name was changed to Abraham, Hagar to wife, because she was barren. She didn't have any children. But look how Ishmael gonna be. Now you see we're just saying Ishmael. Y'all talking about Ishmael, this so-called white man, or he's the Edomites. I'll say that. So the white man is Ishmael. And he will be a wild man. His hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him. And he shall dwell in that presence of all his brethren. Aren't they all together? Over there in Saudi Arabia, in that area of the Middle East, they all together. So that's the angel of the Most High. Now you come to verse 17. What happened to the angel of the Most High? And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, the Most High appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty Power. Walk before me and be thou perfect. But he's speaking to him through the angel of the Most High. It's still the Most High. Look what it said. He's given the word of the Most High to us. Genesis 17 and 2. And I will make my covenant, my agreement, my contract between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. Abram fell on his face, Most High, through Mashiach Yahushua, talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham. For a father of many nations have I made thee. And I will make thee exceeding fruitful. So I'm going to give you a lot of children. And I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee, between the Most High and Abraham. and thy seed after thee. Thy seed, not seeds, but thy seed after thee and their generations for an everlasting covenant, to be a power unto thee and to thy seed after thee. And I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their power. I will be their power. Now we know, if you know anything about our story as the Israelites, who went into the land of Canaan? The Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel. That's who the land was given to. No matter who else went with us, they were few in number. Verse 9, and the Most High said unto Abraham, thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore, thou and thy seed after thee in their generations. This is my covenant, or my contract or agreement, which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised. I mean, the scrotum have to be cut. And ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant between me and you. So you got Jewish people coming up to you, Jewish brothers coming, yeah. You should circumcise? What? What you ask about a man's scrotum for? That's crazy. And he that is 8 days old, the baby is 8 days old, a male child, shall be circumcised among you. Every man child in your generations. We're supposed to circumcise the boys on the 8th day after birth. He that is born in the house or bought with money, or any stranger, which is not of thy seed. This is not, Abraham's children. He that is born in thy house, and he that is bought with thy money, must needs be circumcised. And my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. So that covenant is with the circumcision of the scrotum of the babies at 8 years old. And those strangers or whoever it was of Israel that came amongst us, they had to be circumcised. And the uncircumcised man, child, whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He hath broken my covenant. So now the Most High changing Sarai's name to Sarah. The Most High said unto Abraham, as for Sarai, thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall her name be. I will bless her, and give thee a son also of her. Yeah, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her. And Abraham fell upon his face and laughed. Mind you, verse 1 of Genesis 17th chapter, Abraham was 90 years old and 9. He's 99 years old. And he tell her, hey, Sarah gonna have a son. Right? Verse 17, then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed and said, it is hard, it is mine. Shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah, that is 90 years old, bear? 90 years old, she will have a child? Abraham said unto the Most High, to Mashiach, the angel, oh, that Ishmael might live before thee. What did he say? That Ishmael. Let it be through Ishmael, that's his firstborn son. Isaac is not here yet. The Most High said, Sarah, thy wife, shall bear thee a son. Indeed, thou shalt call his name Isaac. And I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed. Not seeds, because seeds mean all his children. You gotta see this. But with his seed after him. Some male child that Isaac's going to have is going to continue the covenant that the Most High had with Abraham and Isaac. And as for Ishmael, who is the father of the Arabs today, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him. I will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. But that's a condition. My covenant, my agreement, my contract will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year. She's going to bear this child at 91 years old. And he left off talking with him. And the Most High, through Mashiach Yahushua, went up from Abraham. Abraham started circumcising after that. See how he's obedient? He's obedient. So when you go to, let's get back to the point before time fails. When you go to Psalms 105 and 8, it says, he hath remembered his covenant, his contract agreement forever. Remember his contract agreement forever. The word which he commanded to 1,000 generations. Which covenant he made with Abraham. He made his covenant with Abraham. We just read about it. And his oath unto Isaac. You know, get Genesis 22 and 16. He made a covenant with Abraham. His oath unto Isaac. Verse 15, and the angel of the Most High called unto Abraham out of heaven the second time, and said, by myself have I sworn, said the Most High, for because thou hast done this thing, and hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heaven, and as the sand which is upon the seashore. And thy seed shall and in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice and not sacrificing me. Who? His son Isaac. So Abraham returned unto his young men, and they rose up and went together to Beersheba, and Abraham dwelt at Beersheba. So, going back to Psalms 105 and 9. It says, which covenant he made with Abraham, and his oath unto Isaac, and confirmed the same unto Jacob. So you know, when you understand how, when you really understand, that's why it's important for us to look at trials and tribulations that we might go through, but remember what it's written. We got to know this word, because he told him. In Genesis 17 and 7, and I will establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed after thee in their generations for an everlasting covenant, to be a power unto thee and to thy seed after thee. Right? So his seed Abraham's seed that the Most High made the covenant with is with Isaac. But here we just read how Most High said, sacrifice Isaac. Most High made sure that it's not, because he's not a man that will lie. But Abraham showed faith in the Most High. He's going to sacrifice. That's why he just went through in Genesis 22nd chapter. Going back to Psalms 105 and 10. Let's read verse 9. Which covenant he made with Abraham and his oath unto Isaac, and confirmed the same unto Jacob for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant. See that? To Jacob for a law, and to Israel, the Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel, for an everlasting covenant. Can't get past that. Jeremiah 21 and 21. Because, you know, I have to go here because you have these preachers today talking about the covenants with all nations. Anyone. All you got to do is call on the name of Mashiach Yahushua. They say Jesus Christ, and you're going to be part of the covenant. Because we all done sinned and come short of the glory of the Most High. So this book is talking to the Israelites, period. Not to other nations. They might talk about them, but this book is talking to the Israelites. This is what Jeremiah said, through the power of the Most High. Jeremiah 31:30. Behold, the days come, saith the Most High, that I will make a new covenant with who? The house of Israel, and with the house of Judah, family of Israel, the northern tribes. Remember, the Most High split the kingdoms. You don't know anything about the Bible and the history of we as Israelites, then you're going to be lost with this. Why you can't go here and explain it? The 9.5 tribes was the northern tribes, and Judah was the southern tribes. You got 12 tribes. The Levi was the priest that was among all the tribes. That's why I say 9.5. The Levites was there, and Levites was with Judah, Benjamin, Levi. In the southern tribes, they were the priests. But Most High left Judah with Benjamin when he split the kingdom. Under Rehoboam, Solomon's son, and Jeroboam. It was the Ephraimite, so-called Puerto Rican today. Other northern tribes scattered among all these nations. Indigenous, I might say. This is what he said. Jeremiah 31:30. Behold, the days come in the future, said the Most High, that I will make a new covenant, new agreement, new contract with the house of Israel. The house who live in the house, family of Israel, northern tribes, and with the house of Judah. Now, he could have said with every nation, with the Edomites, with the Ishmaelites, with the Hamites, with the Elamites, with the Moabites, and the Ammonites. Could he said that? Those are nations that's in the Bible. Or any other nations. But what did he say? He's going to make the covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, covering the 12 tribes of Israel. Not according to the covenant or the agreement, the contract that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break. We broke the laws of the Most High. We broke the commandments of the Most High, the statutes and the judgments. Although I was an husband unto them, said the Most High, but this shall be the covenant of the contract and agreement that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, said the Most High, I will put my law in their inward hearts, and write it in their hearts, in our minds, and will be their power. There is a possessive pronoun showing ownership. He's going to be their power, and they shall be my people. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, every man his brother. See, in the kingdom, we're going to be taught, saying, know the Most High. Know the Most High. For they shall all know me. The Mashiach will take 1,000 years to show us of the Father. From the least of them unto the greatest of them, said the Most High, for I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more. Okay? That's Jeremiah 31:31. to 34. No, Hebrews 8 and 8. Hebrews 8 and 8. Since you want to say, that's the Old Testament. Now here go the New Testament. Hebrews 8 and 8. For finding fault with them, who did them? The Israelites. Hebrew Israelites. He said, behold, the days come, said the Most High, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. The same thing we just read in Jeremiah 31 down. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant. We broke the laws of the Most High. And I regarded them not, said the Most High. He gave us over to our enemies in captivity, slavery, and bondage. Until this day. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, said the Most High. I will put my laws into their mind. See, now I was looking at what that heart means. It means the mind. I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts. And I will be to them a power, and they shall be to me a people. Just a moment. So once again, Salakia, Hebrews 8 and 11, it said, and they shall not teach every man his neighbor, every man his brother, saying, know the Most High. For all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. Everybody will know the Most High. For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness, and their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more. In that he said, the new covenant ye have made the first old. Now that which decayeth and waxeth old is ready to vanish away. So they use that to say, oh, we ain't got to deal with the laws no more. No, it's talking to the children of Israel. Ain't talking to no Gentile, no one outside from the 12 tribes of Israel. He just said he's going to make a covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah. That's covering. This covenant. He already said he made the covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He said that's his name. You don't believe it? Exodus 3:15 and 16. I mean, he could have said his name was all nations. He couldn't do that. You don't think the Most High could do that? Do what they want to do. But he made it clear. So I give all praise and glory to the Most High. His word is true and pure. Exodus 3:15. And the Most High said moreover to Moses, thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, the Most High, power of your fathers, the power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob, have sent me unto you. This is my name forever. You can't go wrong with the power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, the power of Jacob. Understanding that Jacob is the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. He said, this is my name forever. And this is my memorial unto all generations. This is how important it is for you to see his name, that he says forever, and a memorial to all generations. When you read verse 16, listen what he said. Go and gather the elders of Israel together, and say unto them, the Most High power of your fathers, the power of Abraham, of Isaac, and of Jacob, appeared unto me, saying, I have surely visited you, and seen that which is done to you in Egypt. See? He clearly let you know. How you gonna get anybody else in there? I mean, because you gotta look at it. We didn't go into, Jacob. But I went to Psalms 105, 8 to 10. He's covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and to Israel. Everlasting covenant, going to last forever. Jeremiah 31:31 down, and Hebrews 8:8 down. I mean, that's clear. You think the Most High can't bring these other nations into whatever he said? He said it will be all nations, name those nations? Oh, yes, he can. He would have. So when, after the Most High let Moses know he's the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob forever, and the moral to all generations, then he said, hey, this is what he told them in verse 16. Go and gather the elders of Israel together, because the elders, each tribe had elders that was over their tribe. And saying to them, the Most High power of your fathers, the power of Abraham, of Isaac, and of Jacob, appeared unto me, saying, I have surely visited you, and seen that which is done to you in Egypt. Captivity, what these Egyptians is doing to you. So I'm going to bring them down and deliver you out of their hands. So he heard our cry. Like he's going to hear our cry in these last days. To deliver us out of the hands of our enemies at this time. But those that have ears to hear, but you got to be obedient. You got to repent and do the best we can. Understand the Most High loves us. He said in Romans 9:13, as it is written, Jacob have I loved. So he loves Jacob, as we read, forefathers of the 12 tribes of Israel. Point blank. So you look at Abraham had Ishmael before Isaac. But the Most High blessed Ishmael and he chose Isaac. Isaac and our foremother Rebecca had Esau first, just like Abraham had Ishmael first, had Esau first, and Jacob. They were twins in the womb. But the Most High chose Jacob. See? Go to on the Apocrypha, go to 2nd Ezra 3:16. Go to 2nd Ezra 3:16. This smashes a lot of the nonsense that they teaching that, you know, the great multitude is of all nations. In Revelation the 7th chapter 9th verse, we're going to kill that lie right here. 2nd Ezra 3:16. And unto him thou gave Isaac, we just read about it. Well, let's go back. Since we're dealing with the covenant. Let's look at verse 13. 2nd Ezra 3, and let's start at 13, but we'll concentrate on verse 16. It says, now when they lived so wickedly before thee, thou didst choose thee a man from among them, whose name was Abraham, that we just read about. Him thou lovest, and unto him only thou showest thy will. See? Abraham. And made an everlasting covenant. That means it's going to last forever. Made an everlasting covenant with him, promising him that thou wouldst never forsake his seed. Still singular. His seed, not seeds, because a lot of people came from Abraham, but he said his seed. Let's continue to read. And unto him thou gavest Isaac. Remember, Ishmael was there before Isaac. Abraham was crying to the Most High about Ishmael. He said, hey, I'm going to do Ishmael right. You know. But I choose Isaac. So it said, listen, And unto him thou gavest Isaac. Right to the point. And unto Isaac also thou gavest Jacob and Esau. So now he didn't name Ishmael and Isaac, but he's naming Jacob and Esau. Here he said, was born of Isaac in Genesis 25 and 26. As for Jacob, thou didst choose him to thee. Now you know, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The Most High did choose Jacob to thee. And put by Esau, just put Esau to the side. Put by Esau. And so Jacob became a great multitude. So when you see Jacob became a great multitude, then you look at who is Jacob? The forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. So when you got to go to Genesis 35 and 10 first, get some understanding before we go to Revelation. It says, and the Most High said unto him, this Jacob, thy name is Jacob. It's our forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. Thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name. And he called his name Israel. So he changed his name from Jacob to Israel. And the Most High said unto him, I am Most High Almighty. As we know, ain't nobody ever seen the Most High, so it represents the angel of the Most High, Mashiach, which we read in Revelations, remember, first chapter. Be fruitful and multiply. He's the word of the Most High. Most High no voice, and the word of the Most High is a Mashiach, but as an angel of the Most High. He said, be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations. You hear that? A nation, which represents the nation of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel, and a company of nations. 12 nations. 12 men that's going to bring forth nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins, right? So now let's go to Revelation 7 and 9. Now that we know in 2nd Ezra 3:16 it says, and so Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel, we just read, became a great multitude. Now let's go to Revelation 7 and 9. Revelation 7 and 9. After this I beheld, once he establishing the 12,000 from each of the tribes of the 12 tribes of Israel, 12,000 from each of the tribes of Israel, which make up the 144,000, verse 8 says, after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude. Remember, Jacob became a great multitude, which no man could number. Why did it say no man could number? Why do you think it says that? The Most High told us. Go to the book of Hosea 1 and 10. Hosea 1 and 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. So here we are, back to Revelation 7 and 9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number. He already told us that. That's why you got to know these precepts before you come to Revelations. A lot of these books that are a mystery. Of all nations, remember, what is Jacob will become? A company of nations. Of all nations, and even coming out of these nations. Of all nations, why I say that? Because Deuteronomy, part of the curses, Deuteronomy 28:64. Deuteronomy 28:64. And the Most High shall scatter thee among all people, that's nations, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there, when you go among these other nations, thou shalt serve other gods, idols, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone, all these different religions and what they set up for you to worship and bow down to. So it says, Revelation 7:9, and after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude that Jacob became, which no man could number, but we just read, Israel cannot be numbered, it'll be like the sand of the sea, which no man could number. Same thing, of all nations, coming out of all nations, you scatter us among all nations, and kindreds, and people, and tongues. We speak all these different languages of our captors that have captured us, wherever land we were in. You can see, brothers have traveled all overseas and been all over around. You have different dialects of what our people speak in these different lands that they've been scattered in. They're still Israelites. Stood before the throne and before the Lamb, which is Mashiach Yahushua, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. Listen and cry at this, all these nations and kindreds that could not be numbered, and people in tongues, and cry with a loud voice, saying, salvation to our power. Who's the Most High? The power of who? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. Come on. Salvation to our power, which sitteth upon the throne and unto the Lamb. What did Mashiach say? Matthew 15:24. And he answered and said, I have not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Yeah. So that can't be talked about no one else. But you want to try and bring everybody into this? No, you can't. Salvation, saying salvation to our power. Mashiach Yahushua said it, what he said, John 4:22. You worship, you know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. So, in the end, it's about this, people. Mashiach told us in Revelation 16:15, he said, behold, I come as a thief. Let me say, he coming as a thief in the night. Blessed is he that watches